Go ahead and play the video for those of you who haven't seen it. Let me go ahead and pull up the Hollywood Unlocked thing. This is them protesting outside the home and then trying to get justice. So basically, Ralph Yarl went to the wrong home, right? He was going to pick up his siblings, pulled up in the driveway, knocked on the door, rang the doorbell. I forgot which one. The guy opened up the door and then started shooting and said, "Don't come around here no more. Don't show up here." Shot him one time and then shot him again when he was on the ground. Ralph in the seat. I thought that's when the cops were called after he shot him. No, he ran. He went running to the neighbors, and it's just an ugly situation. I can't believe that they let the attempted murderer just go in for questioning and get released. No, he should be in jail until a thorough investigation is done. What the fuck is wrong with the cops letting him just go? Like, what? Where do they do that at? That shit is crazy to me. It should not be allowed. That motherfucker should be in jail. What is he doing out? Oh, y'all, let me pull it up right now. And I don't apologize for my language either. So don't message me about how I need to stop cussing. This is real life.
Our streets! Our streets! Our streets! Our streets! Shut it down! 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 Shut it down!
Kansas City police say someone inside a Northland home shot a teen in error after the boy drove to the wrong address to pick up younger siblings. Good evening. I'm Shannon Russo.
I'm Kevin Barry. That teen was supposed to go to a home on Northwest 115th Terrace. Instead, he went to a home one block over on Northeast 115th Street. Fox 4's Jacob Kittelstad joins us live now from the Clay County Courthouse Annex. And Jake, we still don't know what led up to last night's shooting or if that shooter's
Let me turn it up, you guys.
Charges.
No, Kevin. And in fact, the Clay County Prosecutor's Office says that they have not received any criminal referral. But this is an investigation with police telling us that this teen is in the hospital with injuries that are considered to be life-threatening. Northeast 115th Street. This is where a young driver mistakenly drove instead of Northeast 115th Terrace.
Kansas City police say someone inside a Northland home shot a teen in error after the boy drove to the wrong address to pick up younger siblings. Good evening. I'm Shannon Russo.
I'm Kevin Barry. That teen was supposed to go to a home on Northwest 115th Terrace. Instead, he went to a home one block over on Northeast 115th Street.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and play you guys the statement from the auntie. The auntie is actually a doctor as well. And hold on, you guys. Let me go ahead and stop this. And this is from Twitter where I got this information. Let me stop this one and let me pull up the next one. Okay. Here we go. Play it right now.
My nephew was on his way to pick up his brothers from their friend's house a few blocks away from his house. He didn't have his phone, so he wasn't using GPS. He was just going based on the direction that my sister gave him. Unfortunately, he pulled into the driveway of the wrong house, walked up to the door, rang the doorbell. A man opened up the door, looked him in the eye, and said, "Don't ever come back here," as he shot him in the head. My nephew fell down, and the man shot him again. He was able to get up and ran to the neighbor, who did not open the door. He ran to 3 houses.
3 houses.
One of the neighbors said, "Put your hands up and lay on the ground." And then he laid on the ground like he passed out before the neighbor called the police for help. My nephew is 16 years old. You hear these stories about racism in America. And you think, wow, how sad is that? But then you have this little bit of hope because you feel like it's so far away and it would never happen to your family. It would never happen to you. But God, the people in this country are sick. And it is so hard to believe that this amount of hate lives in people. And they hate people based on things that are not even under their control. I cannot believe this is the country that we live in. This is the country. This is America.
Yeah, that's disturbing. It's so sad because like he ran to three different homes, and then the one home that he went to that opened up for him, they told him to lay down. Like this man is obviously injured. Not man, I'm sorry. Boy. This boy is obviously injured, and you told him to lay down. You told that was your first thing. You was all like, "Oh, go no, lay down." For like, he didn't have a weapon on him. 16. And you know the sad part is that they always say a black child is considered an adult at 12 years old. So he's already 4 years adult in the eyes of other people. That's what they say. A black child is an adult at 12 years old. So just knowing, and the reason why it hit me was because God, I always make jokes about me being blind and stuff like that. And the street numbers are hard for me to see. Like sometimes they're faded, depending on the home and stuff. Sometimes you can't see. And so sometimes instead of like if it's a new house I've never been to, I'll call someone and be like, hey, can you meet me outside or can you be in front of the door? And like they're all like, oh, just come in. And I'll be like, no, meet me in front of the door. And I just have a thing about one day showing up at the wrong house and then something happening to me. It's just a thought, some thoughts that I have. Like, have I walked into a home that I've never been to before? So like if I'm invited somewhere, yes. But usually, I'll look for music or lights or something, and like, oh, okay, this seems like a party or something like that. So yeah, you would show up. But if it's just like showing up to a place for the first time, never, been to their house, I'm going to wait until I see them come up to the door or something like that before I even get out the car, because I don't want to be mistaken as somebody trying to break into their home, just the look of it. And we subconsciously think about those kind of things, especially when you're black. You subconsciously think about how you need to maneuver in your life just to stay alive. Ralph literally went to go pick up his siblings. He showed up at the wrong house. That was it. Now, what made the guy, the attempted murderer, shoot him? Like, you just say this is the wrong house, or you don't open up the door, you just ignore it. You wanted to kill him. You tried to, at least. You wanted to. You had so much hate in your heart for that black boy that you wanted to see him deceased. Thank God he's still alive. I've never thought about, oh, let me start shooting rounds or, shooting at, like, that wouldn't even have crossed my mind. If I didn't want to answer the door, I wouldn't have answered the door. Because people show up and ring your doorbell or something like that. And, who doesn't have a Ring camera nowadays? Everybody has a Ring camera for the most part, There's only a few people that don't, and I'm not knocking anybody who doesn't have a Ring camera, but most people have a Ring camera, or they have the, what do you call it? Oh, that looks like something dirty. I'm sorry. The peephole, that you can look, like there's stuff that you can do before automatically you think about, let me get my gun. And as soon as I open the door, blasting you. And I don't know if there was prior burglaries, you know, because they're gonna look at that. Oh, the crime had went up in that area, and that's why he shot him. No, no, you cannot convince me this ain't nothing except what it appears to be. You cannot convince me otherwise. That is some bullshit. You cannot convince me that this man, this boy, the man who shot him, didn't see hate in his eyes. He didn't see hate, you know, when he looked at him. He knew what he was doing, and he wants to shoot him. He wanted to shoot him. And, you know, how do I put this? I'm not going to say that these kind of things had never affected me, but for me, when I feel that when we have children, and I don't have children, but I have nieces and nephews, I have cousins and stuff like that. And I just imagine that I have to explain to them, like, hey, you got to be careful with what you do and how you move around, you know, don't be out too late. You know, they say when the street lights come in, remember that old school, the street lights come in the house. Now I was against little kids having phones, and I'm talking about, you know, under the age of 13 and stuff like it. Well, shit, even a kid having a phone in general, I was always against it. But no, the kids need a phone so they can call someone. I know they be on their phone on games and stuff like that, but they need a phone so they can call someone in cases of emergency, just because you just never know who's out there. It's one thing to worry about the kidnappers, but you got to worry about them accidentally crossing the wrong person who sees hate. They see hate. They have so much hate in their heart, and they don't want to see you living, you know? They don't want to see you alive. They don't value you. They see you as less than. It's unfortunate, you know? And like people always say, oh, race doesn't matter, or, you know, racism doesn't exist. Yeah, it doesn't exist to you, but it exists to a lot of people. People have this old school mentality of thinking like, oh, all the races have died off. No, they multiply. They do have children that then grow up to be just ain't shit like them. You know what I mean? They have children that end up hurting him, end up almost trying to kill him. He is actively fighting for his life. And I was going to pull up the picture of him in the hospital, and I just couldn't do it because I would break down. You know, I would break down. Just it was hard for me even doing this show right now because thank you. Okay, thank you, Duchess. See, I was trying to look for the attempted murderer's name. His name is Andrew Lester. Do they have a picture of him? Because I would love to put that up. Let me see. Because just like Ralph is being shown all over the place, we need to show the attempted murderer too. Hold on. Let me see if I can pull it up. And thank you, Duchess, for that information. Okay, I see a mailbox, but I don't see him. I am looking on Twitter right now, you guys. Okay, that's them in front of his house. Of course, he's not going to come out the house. No, Nelly, he's not in jail. They took him in for questioning, and that was it. His name is Andrew Daniel Lester. Put his middle name, last name, everything all over. Until he ends up in jail, he should not feel comfortable. Okay, I'm not going to put his phone number out there and stuff like that, just in case that's not the right person. This is about opera. I don't think that's the right person. Okay, y'all, I tried to look on Twitter to see if there was a picture up there, but there's not. Let me see if I can find one this way. And make sure you guys hit the like button and support the channel. I appreciate that. Duchess, it's fine. Don't put the phone number. And this happened in Kansas City, by the way, you guys. I seen somebody ask, where did this happen? This happened in Kansas City. And this happened at April 13th. And then also, they said the police were called around 10 p.m. So this was at night. Yes, this was at night. However, like I said, he wasn't breaking into the home. He simply rang the doorbell. And this is the result we got. Now him fighting for his life. Shot in the head and the arm. If this was self-defense, right? Wouldn't it just need to have happened one time? It would have just needed like one shot. That's it. You wouldn't need to then get him while, shoot him again while he's on the ground. You see what I mean? So where was the whole he was afraid for his life, or he thought somebody was trying to do something to him? He literally shot him twice. Miss Curie, North Kansas City, Missouri. So yeah, this is the area where it's in. Thank you, Miss Curiosity. I appreciate that. And I don't want to see no news station do any kind of interviews with the attempted murderer. I don't want to see that at all. I want to see him in jail for the longest time possible. This is attempted murder. I don't care what anybody says. There was no reason for this at all. This could be anybody's son, anybody nephew, anybody cousin, anybody brother, literally. He was hunting for sport. Right. I feel like he felt like he was going hunting. And here's the thing too. I'm not even one of these people all like take away the guns and all that stuff. I'm not even one of those people, but it's something about when people have guns, they feel more powerful. I don't get that. Like, I feel more powerful when I have a gun and I don't want to go shooting them or shoot you. And, there was a video of this young black boy, right? 11 years old, driving a truck, like a tractor trailer. He was driving a tractor trailer. And like, there were people mad on the internet. Now, do I think that the little boy, 11 years old, should be driving a truck? Hell no, definitely not. Shit, I could barely drive myself, right? But no one had a problem with this video of a dad teaching his little son, and the boy cannot be any older than 5 years old, teaching him how to shoot a gun. How was that okay? And y'all not outraged about that, but the little black boy driving, you guys are upset about that. That's crazy to me. It's the hypocrisy for me. Right, exactly. And people just feel so powerful and feel like, I don't know if they were bullied in school or not, but they just feel more powerful when they have a gun. Yes, of course you should have a gun for protection. But I never think like, oh, I'm gonna get a gun because it's like people get it and they get trigger happy and they're like, oh, I just want to shoot something. I just want to shoot something. So I'm just gonna shoot something. If you have some kind of impulse control or issue with you in your head, then you need to go get checked out, because you definitely got some fucking issues. And then the nerve to let them, and then you let these people who go on these power and these ego trips get all these different kind of weapons. Like, what they need an AK-40? What you need that for? What do you need that for? You don't need that. And now, granted, I don't know what kind of if it was a rifle. I don't know what exactly it was, right? I don't know what kind of gun it was, but just knowing that people feel like the bigger the gun, the more powerful they feel. Like it gives very much little dick energy. Because you don't have it here, so then you got to go get something to feel like you're big and badass. No, people who are really big and badass can use these. You know, they can use these hands. That's how you really big and badass. Other than that, you ain't shit. You ain't shit. And now he has to fight for his life because someone felt big and powerful. That was a hate crime and it needs to be charged as a hate crime. You can't tell me anything else. And I don't care if he has a best black friend either. Take that motherfucker to jail. That's what you need to do. So you guys, like I said, with Shanquilla, reach out to your state representative on Twitter. Definitely get them involved so we can see, you know, what we can do. Now, I will say on this, it's still being investigated. It's not there. They haven't let it go or he's not absolved or anything like that. The suspect, the attempted murderer, it's still, you know, gonna be questioned and stuff like that. So it's not over with. It's just that they released him. I think he should actively be in jail. He should actively be in jail. There is no other excuse that you can give me. And this is over going to the wrong address. That's it. Not someone breaking in, not someone, you know, now it doesn't even matter if it's a crime or not. They can just do whatever they want to. It doesn't matter if they're actively doing nothing. Like, you can simply just go to the wrong house. And what he seen was this black teenager and was all like, I see a target. I see the enemy. This is what he literally seen when he seen him. He didn't see this little boy playing a saxophone. He, in his eyes, the attempted murderer, Andrew, he seen the enemy. Somebody had put gentrification. I wanted to kind of talk about that too. And I didn't talk about it with the Bob Lee, and then I'll let you guys go. Because everybody was saying, like, oh, you know, all the crime in San Francisco, the homeless is taking over, and all this other stuff, right? This situation, like I said, now knowing that it involved the brother of the girl he was friends with or whatever, that had nothing to do with the crime in the city and stuff like that. And they were trying to push this thing about the crime. Let me tell you this. This happens a lot, especially with the gentrification, because you get, you know, these kind of people that come into the hoods, they gentrify them, you know, dress them up real nice and everything like that. They push out the broke, y'all broke asses out. Then y'all living on the street and doing whatever. And then y'all talk about the crime and stuff like that. Well, it's one thing when you live in that neighborhood and you're from that neighborhood and you want that neighborhood to improve, but you literally are inserting yourself in a neighborhood that wasn't for you. The reason why these people live in these neighborhoods, you know, the hoods and ghettos, which nobody want to talk about, they were forced in there. They were only allowed to live in these areas. And so then they're not given the same opportunity or the resources. And then this is what happens. This is why the inner cities and the ghettos and all this stuff are bad. We don't want to address the real history of it. We just want to say, oh, it's bad or whatever. What y'all don't know, or people don't talk about, Bob Lee actually left San Francisco back in 2011 because he said of all the crime, he left in 2011 and actually went to Miami. He already knew about the crime and everything. He was getting dropped off by the Momini guy to his hotel. That he was getting dropped off to his hotel. He already moved out of San Francisco, you know? But of course, the jobs are here, so that's why he goes back and forth or whatever. But he had already moved out because of the crime and everything like that. But nobody wants to put these puzzle pieces together and talk about this shit. This was a situation where you know, some shit went down and it's unfortunate, but that had nothing to do with this and that, the inner cities and all that stuff. Like, stop that shit, you know? Redlining, yes. Thank you, Princess. Redlining, all that. So that bullshit, that theory about it, no, this is some other level shit going on with the sister, the husband, the brother, Bob. Yeah, that's some shit beyond anybody's control. So let's already squash that, because I remember hearing that. Had nothing to do with that. But anyway, y'all, I'm off my high horse. I just wanted to really bring that story, especially about Ralph, because, like I said, it really hit me. Any of us with young Black boys, girls, cousins, nieces, nephews, it really hit me with that. So that's why I wanted to bring that up. But thank you guys for checking out the show. Make sure y'all hit the like button, share this story with a friend. I'm just happy that I was able to bring this story and I didn't cry, I didn't break down. I already had it. I had it, you know, had done it before it started. And I ain't afraid to admit that I cried about it. Your mama, you know, don't judge me, judge your mama. All right, y'all, we out of here. Love y'all. Deuces.